Hello, everyone. Good evening. So, welcome to our seminar. How to the simple guide how to achieve world peace. So, yeah, I hope you are doing great today. My name is Paul. I am a volunteer for Family Federation for World Peace here in Lebanon, and yeah, I came from Brazil, so I'll be your MC today. So today I would like to start with our homework from last week. And so just to remind you, last week we had these activities about so how to make a list of all the things your parents have done for you or given you. And the second activity was to make a list of 10 things you can do to show your love to your parents. So, yeah, let's start with these reflections. So, I would like to ask a volunteer to, if you would like to come and, unmic your microphone to share. Can we start? No.
So I can start.
Hello? Yeah, thank you, Miss Sarah. Oh, sorry, I had a little bit of trouble with the internet, but okay, thank you.
So yes, hello
So
everyone.
about our activities, please share.
So we had to
The connect task board.
I think we needed to write two things that we can do for our parents. And so I wrote that as my parents are not here, I wrote that after the meeting I will call them and ask them how are they doing, and yeah, just share about myself or ask them if they are good or not. So I try to do this. And another thing is that I thought about one thing that I can do for my father, and I decided to go to my grandmother's house and cook for her so I can make her happy. And also, when my grandma is happy, so my father is also being happy too. So, yeah, these two things I did this week. Thank you.
Wow, really great, really great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I also like cooking a lot because I'm back in Brazil. I was a chef. So yeah, I yeah, cooking is a is a really great thing we can do for others, and yeah, I really well personally I just feel really inspired when I can cook for other people. Yeah, thank you for sharing, Miss Sarah. So another volunteer. So we have how about Mr. Park, Miss Yola Park? Would you like to share about our activities? I can put on the I can share
I
the
will,
screen so you just remember, and so yeah.
yeah. For me, I learned last week. I learned last week. I am now. I learned. I am not young, but I learned now. Very late, but through the translation, what I did translation, I learned very important things. when I have a very good relationship, with my father, I'll be very, very good in society, and I'll be very good with in life. I will do very well in life and doing very well. Mm. If I have a very good with my mother, I'll be also very, very good with my wife, of course, and at the same time also I'll be very, very good with kind heart, and also be nice to everybody, and be warm character, because I learned from my mother. Good with my mother means I learned mother's nature, and then if I am good with my father, I will learn my father's nature. So I'll be very, very good, like a person, to have a balance. But I realize by myself, because my father died early, so and I couldn't have a very good relationship with my father. Uh, that's why I realized I need to learn fatherly love even now. So how I can reconcile? Even my father died, not so many good memory forgot, but still I need to really build. Even now, I need to make a good. That's my learning. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I didn't do this. How to do? 당신? Want to do?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Park. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, like I always like to say, you're never too old to learn new things. Only when you die you cannot learn anything new, but if you're alive, you can still learn new things. That's really good. Yeah, thank you. So I think we have time for one more. So another volunteer would like to share.
Hi, I can do volunteer. It's okay?
Thank you, Mr. Haruto.
Yeah, so activity 1, what my parents did for me. First of all, both of my father and mother, they were living really for others, without payback, like without return. My father and mother, both of them, so that I could see a good sample of living through my parents. And the second, my mother and my grandmother, actually, both of them, they are more close to me, and they never accused me. Whatever I did mistake, whatever I did like weird things I did when I was child, but they never accused or judged. I really appreciate. And also my father and mother, they never argued. They never fought in front of me. Always they showed me their good relationship. I'm sure there is some conflict, I'm sure, but they never showed me in front of me. And always, if I wish to do something, even it is very much burden to them, because my family is not a rich family, not very poor, but relatively more poor family. But what I wish to do, like playing piano, to buy piano, or to go to university, it cost money. But they really made effort to realize my wish. So this is what my parents did for me. And second, activity 2, what I can do for my parents. Actually, physically, my parents, both of them already passed away, actually. And I thought maybe I can do for my mother-in-law, my husband's mother. She's alive. So that's why I called to Japan. I called to Japan and I prayed for her health because she broke her back a few weeks ago. So I pray for her recovering. Yeah. So and I call her birthday always. Yeah. Okay. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Miss Morita. Mrs. Morita. Yeah, thank you everyone for sharing. It's really nice to hear from everyone. So now uh, I would like to introduce our lecture for our lecturer for today. It's my brother George Sunho Pereira. He is also vice president from this region for Family Federation. So yeah, today he will be sharing with you the lecture. So yeah, thank you everyone. Just a second. We are just adjusting a few things, technical side.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. All right. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay. So welcome back to our lectures. So today we're still continuing the first part, that's children's love. So today we are going to chapter 3, goodness creates peace, right? So today we are going to explore what is the relationship between being good and creating peace. How are these two things connected, right? So as we learned in the other lectures, to being good means basically living for the sake of others, right? That's embodied in the motto of our father and mother Moon, our founders, which is living for the sake of others, which is a principle that's found in all religions and also psychology, sociology, as we saw in the other lectures. So in this lecture is explore these 4 main points. So peace in the individual, right? Because as individuals, how do we achieve peace, right? So we have what we call the dual purpose principle. Each person has 2 purposes, right? We have both a mind that we cannot see and a body that we can see. So the mind has a purpose and the body has a purpose, right? What's the purpose of the of the body. The purpose of the body is to maintain itself, survive. And the purpose of the mind is to achieve its desires. So the freedom to decide is what differs us from animals, because animals they also have a body and they also have a mind, right? But in animals, it's more like an instinct that makes them decide things. They don't decide, they choose things. They have an instinct that tells them what to do, which is mostly a survival instinct, right? So we as human beings, we have the freedom of choice. And because of that comes consciousness and responsibility. So when we do anything, we can decide to choose to do something for the good or something for the evil. So conscience is something that tells us what is good, what's right, or if something is wrong. Right? You have that small little voice in your head, oh, don't do this. You know, it's bad. You're going to regret it. So it's our choice to listen to our conscience or not. Right? So all of this, it starts in the relationship between the individual, the mind, and the body. So, like we said, in this relationship, we have the mind and the body interacting with each other. So the mind is more thinking of things that are not related to the body, right? Let's say the body is thinking about how I'm going to survive. I am hungry, so I need food. That's what the body is thinking about. The mind doesn't think about, oh, my mind is hungry. Right? Your mind doesn't think, oh, I need food. It needs other things. So, as I said before, in animals, this relationship is more of instinct. The mind of animals is more the instinct. They don't have any kind of decision making, and they don't have any moral responsibility. But we as human beings, we have the capacity to decide, and through that also comes the responsibility. So, how can we develop a good character through this relationship, right? So, to develop a good character, and this comes from all the religions teaches us that we need to control our body. That means we need to put our body down in priority and put our mind up in priority, right? So religions teach us, for example, how to control our desire for food, fasting, how to control our desire to sleep, like prayer vigils, where you stay all night praying, and many other kinds of trainings for your body. So, yeah. Okay. So, we know how to train the body, but, right? But how do we train the mind? So, to develop a good character, we need to nourish both the body and the mind properly. So, a healthy body controlling the body and a healthy mind also. So, how do we do this, right? The same way as we maintain a healthy body, how do we do that? We do exercise, we watch out for what we are eating, we don't eat so much junk food. So for the mind, it's also the same thing, right? It needs a special kind of nourishment, which is things that make our spirit stronger, right? For example, reading or memorizing books, holy books, That's why the religions also emphasize that you should read the scriptures, because there are many ways that you can improve to make your mind more healthy. So, but this also includes things like what you are watching to, what you are reading, what you're looking at the internet, right? So, like with the body, we avoid the bad things, the bad stuff, and we consume the good stuff. So, in the body, as you can see here in the mirror, we have a priority, right? The body has a priority. So, what's the priority of the body? The priority of the body starts from the top and goes to the bottom, right? So the top is the mind and the bottom is the body. So what happens is good character makes the priority of the mind, which is a priority directly to the public, greater than the priority of the body, which is private. So that's how we create a good character. Okay. So this is why living for the sake of others, why you sacrifice your private for the public, creates good character. So when we have the right priorities, then our mind has a public purpose and the body having a self purpose, which is to maintain itself. So when this is the priority, then we live as good people, right? We live for goodness, live for the public, right? Maybe you don't understand this right now, but then we're going to go see all the relationships. So, so having a public purpose makes us happy, and the opposite, the wrong priorities, make us unhappy, right? So why is that? Because we as human beings have a different relationship between our body and minds. It's different from the animals. So we are built, and maybe you already heard this, we are built as social beings, right? We're not made to be by ourselves. So when we have the wrong priorities, then we are contradicting this nature that we have to live for other people. And that's why we get unhappy. So, okay, so that's how goodness is created, and that's where peace comes from. But how does this relate to the family, right? How does this relationship between your body and your mind relate to the family? If you think, if you stop a little bit and think, then the family is like the subject partner, what we call subject partner and object partner. So the family is like the public purpose, right? It's like when you are in the family, you are an individual within the family, correct? So when your priority is the family, then your priority is to make everybody happy, right? That includes yourself also. But when your priority is the individual, you don't care about other people in the family. You care only about yourself. So this relationship between the family and the individual is similar to the mind and the body, right? We should have a higher priority for the family instead of higher priority for ourselves. So when we have a priority as more individual than the family, then we start acting selfishly and we can give excuses to anything, right? We can justify any behavior. This you will see, especially when a child is very young. He doesn't think about, oh, I want to make my the parent's happy. He's thinking more, oh, I'm hungry. So he starts crying. Oh, I want this toy. I want to play like this, like that. I want to go outside. So this putting the individual as first place is the wrong priority, right? This creates disharmony in the family. So the right priority is where everybody prioritize the family first. So family first. Later, I think about myself. Similar to the mind and body, mind first, then later the body. So in the family, who is the person that's most dedicated to the happiness of the family? Inside the family, usually are the parents, right? So the parents, they wake up in the evening when the child is crying, they make the food, they bring the child outside. So everything they do, or at least in the ideal world, everything they do is for the sake of the family, right? For example, they would love to go out and play with their friends, but instead they stay at home with the family, taking care of the children. So remember when I say that children usually are like the opposite, right? They prioritize the individuals. So what happens is, by learning this kind of attitude from our parents, learn that they are sacrificing for the individual, sacrificing themselves for the family, then children learn that this principle to live for the sake of others. And this is reflected by the love and care, sacrifice that the parents do for the family. So, okay, so when you think about it, when a parent is sacrificing, he's not totally unhappy, because you remember the first lecture we talked about what's called delayed gratification, right? They're not doing something to be happy right now. They're doing something that in the future will give them happiness, not only for themselves, but also for the children. So in a sense, when you sacrifice for your family, yes, you are giving joy not only for yourself, but also for everybody else. Okay? So according to the words of Father Moon, when we realize that our life is not ours alone, but is meant to be for the sake of others, we begin to follow a path different from the one we were on. And so this is the moment when we change our priorities from the individual, from ourselves, and shift that to the family, right? So this is one of the most important lessons that the child learn, right? That to put the family above themselves, above their own happiness, right? I don't know if you can remember that, like when you were a child, and then suddenly you're like, oh, I need to make my family happy, or I need to help my family, or something like that. So if you can remember that moment clearly, then, like Father Moon said, your life changed completely, right? You stop thinking only about yourself, and now you're thinking about your family. And this is and this brings happiness to you when you're thinking about your family. So why does that happen? This is because this is the nature of true love, right? True love finds joy in giving. So living for the sake of others, which is the epitome of giving, is the foundation of true love. And if everybody in the family is living for the sake of others, that means everybody is happy. Everybody is receiving true love, practicing true love. Right. So, okay, so this can also be applied to the society, the same logic, right? Society is the higher purpose, and the family is the lower purpose, right? You can say that society is the subject partner and the family is the object partner. So a family that contributes to the society to make the society is better is a good family. On the other side, the other hand, a family that or focuses only on themselves, they damage the society. So the same thing as we saw that the mind and the body, family, individual, now society and family, right? But you may know about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, right? So the main point here is sustainable, right? Sustainability. So when you think about these goals, they were set to be reached about in 2030, right? 2030. So do you think they can be achieved until there? We have what, more 5 years or so? Can we reach no poverty until there? Can we reach peace, justice, and strong institution? All these goals? Well, probably not. And why is that? Why does these things don't hold, even though the United Nations is doing many things around the world, right? Because the United Nations, they're not focusing on the main point of sustainability. What makes things real sustainable? How can things develop by themselves, continue by themselves? So this can only happen if we have good people that are working, the countries, in the leadership, when we have people that prioritize the public instead of prioritizing themselves, right? People that think as if they are parents, as if like a father or a mother. So the key to sustainability, to make things sustainable, it's a culture of true love, right? And then after that, we expand this with effective management. But it always starts with this culture of true love, right? Because the culture of true love, as we saw, teaches how a person can be good. And this is the basis for the sustainability. People have to be good. If people have selfish intentions, then sustainability cannot work. So only true love is sustainable, right? Because the principle of true love is you give to receive at a later time, or you even forget that you gave, right? It's a kind of love that always is expanding and growing. On the other hand, because you can say, oh, well, you say true love, right? But so we have other kind of love. And yes, we have what we call unprincipled love, right? It's a kind of love that take first and then give back reluctantly. It's the kind of person that is always thinking, if I give something, what I be getting back in return, right? This kind of love is not a real love, right? And because this is the thing that happens the most in our society, then that's why our society cannot achieve peace. So looking again at the nature of true love, so is the nature of true love to want to give back even more than what you receive, right? So that it's what makes things sustainable. When there is a cycle, and instead of everybody giving less, and then at some point it will finish, if everybody in the cycle gives more, then it will be a sustainable relationship. So this is what makes relationships of true love or wanting to give sustainable. So sustainable development, conclusion, to have sustainable development, we need effective leaders and managers, because even though it's good that we have good people, but they have to be also capable. But the main point is a culture of true love, right? Culture that reinforces living for the sake of others, which starts in the family, as we saw. So living for the sake of others is sustainable. So when everybody in the society wants to give and forget, and they don't think about, oh, I gave enough, then we have a sustainable society, sustainable system, or whatever. But if the opposite is true, then selfishness is not sustainable, right? So living for just myself, or just take first, and when it's time for my turn to give back, I say, oh, I'm sick, I'll stay at home today. So selfishness is not sustainable. And this we can see from some examples, right? We have these articles. So this article called Parenting Your Company to Profits, right? Where they analyzed a lot of companies, and then they realized what are the main criteria for your company to be successful. Not for the leader to be successful, but for the company as a whole to be successful. So number 1, establish boundaries. Number 2, coach with praise. Number 3, allow for growth. And 4, push for success. So they realize that all these components are also what makes good parenting, right? So being a good parent also means having the established boundaries with your children, coach them with praise, allow them to grow by themselves, and always support them to be successful. And then now thinking about in the greater view about the world and the society, because in the world we have several societies, right? So when the societies and the world enter the same priority as the mind and the body, the family, individual, and society and the family, then we can achieve peace in the world, right? However, what we have nowadays, right? We have the problem of selfishness. So as we saw, the goodness is the opposite of selfishness. So what happens when the private purpose is greater than the public purpose? In human relationship, this results in conflict, right? If people are always thinking about themselves when they are interacting with other people and then have the same interest or they want the same thing, then they're going to have a conflict. And this, it was not only between brothers or friends, but this can also be between ethnic groups, nations. So this is the root of the conflict, and it needs to be reversed, right? The same thing with art. When people are thinking only about themselves, you know, the copyright stuff, oh, I want to make my money instead of thinking about the public, then feelings of obscenity appears. Why? Because they're not thinking about, for example, if they're stealing from someone, they're not thinking about how this can damage another person, right? They only care about themselves. They only care about making money for themselves. And in the industry, right? When a company thinks only about making profit, what happens? And let's say it's a company that makes a lot of smoke. What happens is pollution. They don't think about the environment, because for them, what matters is how much money they can get, not how how much damage they can cause to the environment, right? Same thing with business. What happens when the private is over the public? Corruption. Inside a business, if the boss is always thinking about, oh, how much money I can get this year, then it will take money from the employees and give to himself, right? That's what's happening in the big companies, right? Corruption, misuse of money. So in the correct society, the company should also strive to make their workers happy, not only the leader. Well, when we saw the article about like they should be like a parent, right? They should take care of who is working in the company also. So I have here a small example of the largest bankruptcy in human history. So in 2001, this company Enron, they went bankrupt and they had 63 billion in debt. This was in 2001. So what we can learn from this bankruptcy, right? Well, number one, this didn't happen because they were poor, right? Because this company was valued in several billions of dollars, but the people in charge, they were not poor. They were very rich, actually. And the second lesson is being smart does not prevent corruption. These people that were in charge, they were all doctors, they had master degrees. So the cause of this bankruptcy is not because they were poor, not because they were stupid, but because they were selfish, right? That's what happened. Selfishness created corruption, and corruption in the end destroyed the company. So in this case, many of the top executives, they were charged with criminal charges for fraud or corruption, and they went to jail. So okay. So what are the consequences of this corruption? Number one is to have public money misuse. Public money is money that should not be for yourself, should be, let's say in the case of a company, should be money that's for the company, for the development of the company. So when this money is misused, what happens then? The company cannot grow properly, and in the end, everybody gets damaged in some way. And the second consequence is kills the spirit to give, to live for others, right? Let's bring this to the society level. So let's say in your country, you have to pay taxes, right? Let's say you have a tax for making the streets better. But when you go out every day and then you see that you're paying that tax, but the streets are still damaged, nobody's fixing the streets, traffic is very bad. So what happens then? You feel like, I don't want to give my money because they're not using my money properly, right? So this is what means to kill the spirit to give. So people are not anymore encouraged to give because they cannot see the benefit in that. Then we have other examples of selfishness. So for example, here I think Mr. Park would remember this. What happened is there was a boat that capsized, turned upside down in the water. And around 300 people died, 304 people, mostly children, they died. So what was the cause of this accident? The cause was that the ship had much more cargo, much more load than it was supposed to. And then that happened because the people that were in charge for the boat, they were thinking about only their profit. They're thinking, well, they're not thinking about the safety of the people aboard. They're thinking, oh, I can make more money, so I'll just put more stuff there. I don't think anything will happen. So yeah, so this is one of the consequences of being selfish, thinking only by yourself. If they were thinking about the safety, they would refuse. No, even though you're giving me more money, I cannot do this. Right? It's not safe. So yeah, like I said, they were thinking more about profit than the safety. But this could easily have been prevented if they put the safety of the people in the boat in a higher priority than the profit they would receive. So again, this is a problem of priorities, right? Of what is most important. So, okay, we have this question of priority, right? It's more important for us to think of the public, but is it wrong for me to think about myself? Like if it's wrong for me of thinking of benefiting myself, and that depends, right? Depends on what? So depends on the outcome, right? The desire itself is not good or bad, right? Even if you desire to benefit yourself, that's okay. After all, you need to eat to survive, right? I'm hungry, I need food. But the desire becomes good or bad depending on what kind of action you do to make it to satisfy the desire. So when this desire motivates you to give, then results in good, that makes it a good desire. But if the desire results in you taking from someone, taking from somewhere, then that's resulting in evil. Right? So Father Moon said that the desire you to benefit yourself is natural. But what motivates you to take, it is selfish and wrong. You must understand that to benefit yourself the most, you must give your whole self to others. Then this desire to benefit yourself is good. The simple truths will bring a new world order. So this is what's from our founder. So like I said before, when you start thinking that you are benefiting, like you are benefiting your family, for example. So if everybody in your family is happy, then you naturally also become happy. So in a society where everybody is thinking of making a good society, everybody in the society is happy. And the same applies to the world. If all the societies were more focused on making everybody in the world happy, then we can achieve world peace. So this is what I had for today. And today we will not have homework. We will use the homework at the start of the next lecture. So thank you very much. And now I'll give back to Mr. Paul. What about the homework?
Okay, thank you everyone for coming. So yeah, this concludes our our lecture for today. I hope you really enjoy. And well, for next week, we'll be having just a second, let me confirm the title. Let me just confirm the title for the next. Is Brothers and Sister Love? Yes, that is. Yeah, that is our lecture for the next week. I hope to see everyone there. So yes, like you know, we are here 7 p.m. every Tuesday. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and I hope to see you next week. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you coming, everyone.